Peace and love, you guys. Salute. Salute to the good people. Oh, my goodness. Here we go again. It appears that the farcical, the absolutely ridiculous folly within boxing seems to be a never-ending thing, seems to be one continuous, crazy, nonsensical roller coaster ride, you guys. What in the sassy Schofield is going on here, you guys? Can somebody tell me what's going on? I'm getting a lot of sassy vibes, okay? And I'm not really understanding how to process all of this. It's gotten too goddamn sassy out here. Suddenly everything is rose pink, okay? What's going on here, you guys? Kid Austin pulled out of the fight with Shakur Stevenson, of course scheduled to take place this Saturday, okay? And he allegedly pulled out due to some type of sickness. And the sickness has caused a subsequent hospitalization of Mr. Schofield Jr. What is going on? Now, I came across an interview that Shakur Stevenson did with Fight Hype. And in this interview, he thoroughly explained, his mental frame of mind, his thoughts, his feelings about the charades that are at hand right now, okay? Shakur thought it was quite strange that Schofield did not show up to the grand arrivals last evening. Okay, he was a no-show at his own grand arrivals. Something like how he was a no-show at his own initial press conference, if you guys recall this, about a month ago now, right? He did not show up, supposedly because somebody had stolen his passport. Somebody done misplaced Sassy Daddy's red bottoms. He couldn't find his red bottoms. Somebody done took his Yves Saint Laurent favorite lipstick. Something happened, okay? And he couldn't go for some type of reason. So here we go again with another charade, another act. He's a no-show last evening, you guys, right? Now, Shakur said that upon returning from that event, okay, he went on about his business so that he can continue cutting the few extra pounds that he has remaining, right, for the fight. And while he was on his way back to his quarters, he happened to run into Sassy Daddy Schofield, that is, on the elevator. And Shakur said that upon seeing him, he, quote unquote, pressed him out. This is what Shakur said he did to Schofield. He pressed him out, meaning, began questioning him for some answers as to why they did not show up, right? So Shakur says that Floyd Sr. said something like this: yeah, he's sick, right? So he admitted it. Then he proceeded to suggest that they should probably find a backup opponent just in case, mysteriously, Junior does not, come to his wellness, right? Just in case he does not get better. And it's at this point that Shakur stated that in hearing this, that's basically all the confirmation he needed, right? He knew Schofield Jr. was not going to be in the fight. Right? This is what Shakur is basically insinuating in this interview at this particular point. He is saying that that's all the confirmation that I basically needed, right? But that he didn't get the official confirmation until about 2 hours later when he received a call, I'm presuming from his team and the partners involved in the event as a whole. How disgraceful is this, you guys? Now, Shakur was asked by the interviewer on Fight Hype his initial thoughts. How did he react upon getting the news, and basically how he feels ahead of this big fight that is coming up on Saturday and having all of this happen out of the blue all of a sudden. And Shakur, has, of course, dealt with the cancellation of a fight before. This is not something new to him, right? In fact, a plethora of fighters have dealt with this, right? It seems to be kind of commonplace and part and parcel to the game. Sometimes, yes, of course, events get canceled. But regarding this particular fight and its significance, Shakur responded, quote, I can't be emotional about it just because of the fact that I already thought in my brain that this is what it was going to be like. I've watched this kid's demeanor. I've seen him around fight week. Truthfully, when I was that age, I was a lot sharper, like mentally, and I was a way better fighter. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, there's no way anybody in their right mind would allow him to fight me on fight night in 8-ounce gloves. And it just seems like he was an unready kid. He wasn't ready. End quote. That's Shakur Stevenson's statement upon the matter. And real talk, you guys, Shakur predicted this weeks or months ago, if you guys recall. The man called it. He called this happening. He already knew. The motherfucker had a premonition, okay? Was he lying or not about that premonition? How many times has he, suggested that this boy ain't ready and this boy is looking for some type of way to back out of this fight? He said it before, okay? I don't want to hear another peep out of Schofield or his sassy red-bottomed daddy. You understand? The biggest fight of his career by far with one of the kings of the 135 division, and you fucking duck? Straight up and down duck, cold turkey duck? After all of the nonsense and sassy craziness that Sassy Daddy had been talking about for the past year or so, real talk about Shakur Stevenson, couldn't keep Shakur's name out of his mouth. Okay? He could not keep Shakur's name out of it. Every interview up, Shakur, yeah, we coming for Shakur. Shakur gonna get knocked out, y'all. Yeah, Shakur backing out because he know what we got, y'all. Just as sassy as he want to be on every goddamn interview. Could not keep Shakur's name out of his mouth. Okay? Or his long, luxurious locks that he likes to flip to the back better than Cindy Crawford in the goddamn 90s. Excuse me? Actually, better than Naomi Campbell on a Versace runway, just flipping his locks and talking about Shakur Stevenson. I mean, Jesus. Tell me this isn't real, you guys. What is going on here? After all of that talking, this is the antic that you pulled? This is the charade that culminated all of this trash talking you've been doing? Shakur went on to say that he didn't even think that it made sense for them to accept the fight because he didn't believe that they would follow through from the jump. Essentially, positing that from basically the advent of getting the news, right? He automatically knew and felt an instinct that it was an act, that they had accepted the fight to begin with. Automatically, that was a feeling that he shared that he had. Oh, my days, you guys. You can't make this stuff up. You really just can't. What an absolute disgrace, you guys. Now, Shakur was then asked if he had seen the video circulating of Schofield Jr. in the hospital, right? Laying in a bed like he just done had the most complex heart transplant of all goddamn time. Just laying there limp and languid and lethargic and just unconscious, right? He saw the photo. This is what Shakur replied to seeing this particular photo and video of Junior in this hospital bed. He says, quote, yeah, I seen it. But when people are in the hospital and like when you cut weight, you probably be dehydrated and all of that kind of stuff. I feel as though he probably was a little dehydrated and, he'll be okay. End quote. That's Shakur's statement to that. Now, Shakur basically did not hit the gas on Schofield Jr. Real talk. I think overall his perspective was like, listen, I know that this is a young kid. I know that he's kind of green, okay, as he posited throughout the interview several times of how young he is and basically young and dumb he is. You know what I'm saying? So, and inexperienced, right? The inexperience of Schofield Jr., right? So Shakur took it quite easily on this poor young fella, okay? He did not slander or disavow him, in other words, okay? He seems to know full and well that it is Sassy Daddy that is the one that is pulling the strings overall, and that Junior is simply following closely behind the wagging tail of his father, okay? The interviewer then brought up the fact that Sassy Daddy had been going on social media and essentially accusing now, okay, Shakur Stevenson of being behind his son's alleged sudden illness, right? And he does this by insinuating that he was somehow poisoned. Maybe it was food poisoning. Maybe somebody spiked him or rubbed him down with something that they didn't have permission to be rubbing him down with. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if you guys saw the Twitter post from Sassy Daddy where he said yesterday, this is Sassy Daddy's quote in that Twitter post. He says, "They poisoned my son. Is this snack work? Shakur massage lady wiped a cream on my son." End quote. And I'm sure that he was flipping his locks to the side like goddamn Angelina Jolie when he wrote that tweet, by the way. Now, all I could think of upon seeing that tweet, by the way, yesterday, guys, was what is wrong with this man? Like, truly, what's really wrong here? Like, I get the idea of promoting. I get the idea of having to talk your talk. You know what I'm saying? You got a fighter on deck. This is your son. This is your baby. This is your creation, and you believe in him. But the antics and the folly is not necessary in order to do that. You can get the job done with getting his name out there. You can get the job done with convincing the world that he is the best thing since the creation of a diamond. There's nothing wrong with the belief in your son and the upholding of that belief. You understand? But the lies and the antics are not required. I hear far too many people, and have heard for years on end, complaining about somebody like Bill Haney, who was another father in the game with a son, a world champion at that. You understand? And people have been complaining about him incessantly and obsessively for goodness knows how long. And all Bill does is really believe in his son. And all of the talk that he talks is to uphold that alone. He does not need the folly or the falsities to get the point across or to promote his son. Why is nobody talking about this man and castigating this man for going about it, how he's been going about it, especially with this antic of pulling him out and blaming Shakur Stevenson falsely? And worse yet, the sassy daddy himself took the sassy opportunity, if there is such a thing, he took a sassy opportunity to throw snack into the mix, if you guys didn't catch that in his tweet. Now it's a snack problem. They rub some snack cream on my son, pretty much. The sassy conspiracies have been activated, you guys. Hold up. Y'all better hold on to y'all mink coats. Y'all better hold on to y'all MAC lip gloss, child. He done activated the sassy conspiracies, y'all. What? He wants to corral with the snack allegation in the midst of his accusation. He wants to corral the man fans who believe this type of nonsense and folly and who constantly accuse Snack of something. These are the people he wants to corral. He wants to cause a hailstorm, if you will. He wants us to start raining men around this fake cause. That's what he's doing here. So when Core was asked about this nonsensical tweet, this is what Core replied with. He said, quote, "Here's the thing with that. When he first put out the poisoning thing, he said that, Shakur's massage therapist rubbed cream on us. I don't have a massage therapist down here. So how did my massage therapist rub any cream on you? It's hard for me to believe somebody who is just constantly coming up with something new every single day. Every day. He did this. He did that. No other opponent that I've ever fought has ever complained about anything with me. I've always been a clean boxer. I always do things the right way. So to hear all of these things, it's just like clown stuff. So I try not to get involved in the circus." End quote. That's what Shakur says. Now, when Shakur was asked what he thinks the point of all of these charades have been up until this point, he said, quote, "Whether you believe it or not, I feel as though it's a lot of people out there that love clout. They love fame. They love everything that comes with it. And truthfully, I believe this was all a stunt. That's what I believe. Even when I seen him, he didn't look nowhere near his weight. Like, when I see people on fight week, I'm like, okay, you look shredded down. You look, sucked down some. He looked fully hydrated. The entire fight week, he looked way bigger than me. I'm like, okay, this don't make much sense. That's why when they said, Shakur is too small, yeah, I was close to my weight, buddy. End quote. That's Shakur Stevenson's statement. Absolutely ridiculous, you guys. The interview, proceeded with some more information. If you guys didn't see it, go check it out on Fight Hype. It's about 15 minutes or so long. Good lengthy interview. He talks about other things like Shakur. He talks about the replacement fight. This man has to prepare for an entirely different fighter now because this chump, or I should say this chump's daddy, or rather, no, they both get the onus on this because he's a grown man with a son now. He needs to start dictating his own path. You know what I'm saying? Or at least, begin assuming a partnership relationship instead of a, father-son relationship with this man. Start taking the onus of your own career. Start taking the weight and bearing the weight and brunt of your own career. Because wherever this sassy daddy is steering to is not looking very good. Because he just caused you the biggest fight of your career thus far. There is no excuse as to why you should be backing out all of a sudden due to some faulty, fake, made up, drummed up excuse to not fight Shakur Stevenson this Saturday. The biggest fight of your life, literally. And you will not be a part of that particular card because you got some sassy conspiracies that you'd rather uphold rather than assuming a belt and assuming kingship in the 135 division. It seems that the soap opera mentality is what is taking precedence over your career and over your forthrightness as an athlete and assuming that type of accreditation as an athlete. It's absolutely disgraceful and despicable to watch this happen. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Shakur is now going on to fight somebody by the name of Josh Padley. I wish him the best. I hope he does a demolition job. I hope he makes a statement with this performance and onward and upward from here from Mr. Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? He did what he had to do. He put the work in during his training camp. He made his sacrifices, to get to this point, to be ready for this particular fight. And hopefully, the sun shines on him and he gets the victory in spectacular fashion. That's all we could say. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully moving forward, you know what I'm saying? Some actual fights with the top gunners in the division, like Lomachenko, like Tank Davis, can happen and materialize at some point this year. Enough is a goddamn enough, 135. Jesus Christ, this is the biggest soap opera goddamn show in all of boxing. The 135 division is this not one thing, it's a damn nother. I'm sick of it. Anyway, that's it for me, you guys. I'm on to the next. Peace.